My name is Tracy Gandhi, and this is my Module 8, Leading with the Moral Compass. So to get started, the resource summary, the consistent theme of the content selections is the importance of not only having a moral compass, but also understanding what essential elements comprise your moral compass. What are the boundaries that you adhere to? What are the absolute non-negotiables? Your moral compass is what drives you forward or northward. Just as a compass is a tool of an orienteer, the moral compass is a tool of leaders to guide their path to ethical, sound decision-making. There is little that leaders can do to keep others from scrutinizing, evaluating, and judging the decisions and actions that are made both professionally and personally. As a leader, it is important to be present-minded in decisions and listen to your emotions that guide your instincts and reflexes in right and wrong. Understanding the elements that comprise your moral compass can assist in decision-making because of, or in spite of, your moral compass composition. Emotions such as guilt, anger, disgust, shame, gratitude, compassion, sympathy, empathy can either encourage or discourage actions. Therefore, the observance of leaders and leading by example is critical in building an ethical culture. So for my moral compass pictorial, I used Google Slides and looked for certain images that kind of represented or icons that sort of represented keywords. When I considered what I wanted my compass to look like, I knew that I wanted to have polar extremes of good and evil. I immediately went to the dark side of the force to the light side of the force mentality. But then my west and east, I kind of looked at, what are the things that bring us to making good decisions? And I ultimately landed on fair and humility. And so then I started looking at what are the elements that make up humility? How do you move from, let's say, an evil perspective to more of a good perspective? What does evil kind of look like on that polar opposite? So I considered things where you're making selfish decisions or maybe diabolical decisions that are power driven or very autocratic, that it's my decision, only my decision, like it or lump it kind of a mentality, that those lead into that evil concept. Then I started looking at what drives us or starts moving us towards the good, and duty, doing something out of duty, whereas that's somewhat an admirable concept. I also think of it as, are you doing something out of duty or because it's what you really believe in? And so that might be why I feel like I put this down on the lower side. And the same thing with honor, because you have a certain honor, you're going to go ahead and do those things. Not that they aren't positive, it's just, are you doing it because it's an altruistic kind of a concept, or are you doing it because you feel like it is your duty? It's how it's been ingrained in you. I think as you move from duty, it actually becomes one of service. But again, as leaders, we have to be sincere, or we have to be authentic in this, or, people understand whether you're serving because it looks good or whether you're serving because that's truly you have a heart of a servant. And then compassion and forgiveness kind of leads us towards this loyalty, trustworthy, the integrity, and the same thing on this side with respectful and etiquette and equitable. So these are the references that I use. They are our reading content, and then I also included myself as a reference, since the moral compass was a pretty significant part of what this assignment was. And for my addendum, the standard correlation is that no two moral compasses of leaders are going to look the same. The morals, values, emotions, and experiences that are the fabric of your being all contribute to the composition of your moral compass and in your decision-making skills. Recognizing what your elements are, what is your strengths, your assets, your liabilities, your vulnerabilities, can help aid in sound ethical decision-making. The relevance of this assignment, the construction of my moral compass, gave me an opportunity to take what the learning content offered with regards to elements of morals and emotions and ideals that are both natural and developing part of myself as it relates to leadership and ethical decision making. And how will this be beneficial from a reflection standpoint? The construction of the pictorial representation of the components that make up my moral compass forced reflection on both the things in my personal composition that cannot be negotiated or compromised, as well as those elements that I have to continue to develop and reassess as I prepare to be a leader seen as one with high integrity and having strong ethical decision-making skills. I think the pictorial is a great representation of me and where my strengths and maybe vulnerabilities and opportunities for growth and professional growth and personal growth. And